What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Wanted to switch up the angles today, take a seat and just pretty much talk to you, share some insights about technology. We have a little rain in town today, but you know, the show has to go on. But yeah, I was sitting around and just kind of reflecting on pretty much how quick technology is evolving. I mean, me personally, I'm Generation X, and so I grew up with all the VCRs, flip phones, and all the stuff that was, you know, coming along as technology has developed. But man, I swear, technology is moving super fast. And if you're a millennial, don't get cocky, because I know even you're starting to feel old with all of the Generation X catching up really quick. So if you're not learning, if you're not evolving yourself, you are definitely falling behind. But with that said, guys, just wanted to share some points on pros and cons that I made in order for you to leverage technology to the max and not have it work against you, because I know there's many studies out there where it can work against you. But of course, you know, some of the pros with technology is, man, all the convenience that it offers is super convenient. You no longer have to, say for example, go to the bank and deposit your money unless there's a personal reason in regards to you doing that. But other than that, man, you can automate payments, you can automate deposits, withdrawals, you name it. You have all these apps to maintain your credit. You have e-sign documents where you can submit applications to whatever it is that you're trying to qualify for. All kinds of benefits in just the finance world alone. And then of course we have our personal lives. I mean, we have Uber Eats, we have DoorDash, we have instant food delivery that can be brought to our doorstep. I mean, I could probably make a whole video on just the conveniences, but you know, we know they're making grocery lists where you can order your grocery list and you just pick it up. I haven't tried it myself, but just think about all the convenience that I believe sometimes we take for granted. And then, as I mentioned, you know, getting deeper into your personal life, there's dating. So if you're in the single space, then you know that's super convenient, not having to go out and go through the nervousness of actually approaching somebody that you like and sharing your feelings, or you're expressing your feelings towards that individual. You know, it's easy nowadays with dating apps or what have you. And then of course you have learning as well. There's a ton of cool things that you can do online now, especially nowadays with some of the restrictions. There, you know, you can really take your knowledge or your expertise in a particular area to the next level. But you know, with that also comes a lot of negative things that can affect you. So I'll get into some of the downfalls or some of the cons with technology, because as I mentioned at the beginning, with some of the conveniences and basically the options that we have can also lead to confusion, and it can lead to a lot of complexity in your life. You know, if you're trying to manage everything yourself, and me personally, like just keeping up with passwords alone, that is a big headache. And yes, you can keep a spreadsheet, or you can also, I think there's these apps that you can use to basically manage all of your passwords. Like I said, there's something for everything, but to a certain point it gets confusing no matter what, because even if you put all your password on this one password management app, there's some that ask you to renew at one time or another, or maybe you changed your credit card or what have you. So that's where some of the complexity comes in. And then, as I mentioned, with convenience, when you have these unlimited options of food and just a plethora of fast food and everything that can be right brought right to your doorstep. Imagine how lazy that really makes you. Imagine the mindset or the habit that it's instilling just into your psyche. It's yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a time and place to be able to use technology to stay productive if you're a busy professional, but to a certain extent, it becomes a crutch. You become dependent on it. And then, as I mentioned, in the personal life, I'll go back to the dating example, which, if you get too comfortable with applications, what is your real personality going to be like when you meet that person in person? When you actually have to show up to the date. Yeah, you might have this cool profile that you paid somebody on Fiverr or whatever to create, which hint hint, by the way, there's even people on Fiverr that can help you with your dating profile. You'll find everything on Fiverr. But you see the point is that now you become handicapped to actually developing your personality, your charisma, your character. And that's where technology can end up working against you. And then the education example, yes, as I mentioned, right now is definitely a time for learning, for increasing your skills, for taking your knowledge to the next level. But eventually, when it comes down to it, you have to take action. You have to do the work, which I have some videos on doing the work, walking the talk, which is, what I pushed myself to as well. You see me on these videos, you see me trying to spread the knowledge, spread the value, but I also push myself in all the areas that I want to improve on. So when you become too dependent on technology, that's when it starts to work against you, and you become so dependent, and you become almost handicapped with technology. Because look at how we react whenever we think we've lost our phone. Like, man, some people just go into a panic attack when they cannot find their phone, or if they do end up losing it, all of a sudden they lost a year worth of memories or whatever. And then going back to some of the vintage examples, that's where it was cool to actually open up an album and go through your pictures or what have you. And then even in the personal development world, there's some pros and cons, and there's suggestions to keeping digital files of whatever it is, your vision board, your affirmations, or what have you. But there's also been studies on scribing and actually writing down your goals free of technology, because it actually brings more focus. So there's benefits to writing down your goals, writing down your affirmations, or whatever you're into, your to-do list, your planning. So there's a lot of benefit to going back to the vintage days, the old school days as we call them, or what have you. But just, I thought this would be a cool topic to cover, because, if you find my content, you find my videos, I'm definitely leveraging technology. I'm definitely using it to my advantage. It's a way I can reach you without knocking at your door, without invading your privacy, and still being able to give you value, which I encourage you to as I mentioned, to inform yourself, make yourself aware how you're using technology, because it's definitely evolving. The times of technology are definitely here, guys, because you might see me on video, and yes, I'm working on building a brand, a content creation brand where I can share my voice and give value, but everybody's using video as well. I'll just leave you with another quick example. I just remembered, even for some of my recent career applications, there were certain employers that actually wanted a video file to accompany your resume. So they actually want to get a feel for your personality, your presentation skills, your sales skills. But as I mentioned, guys, it's super exciting times. Do not let it overwhelm you. Pick and choose what works for you and delete what works against you, because the time is here. The time of technology is now, and it's only going to grow more. It's moving super fast. But as I mentioned, don't get overwhelmed. Make sure you're aware of these things and take advantage of everything that we have nowadays. We're definitely living in wonderful times, guys. All right. So as I mentioned, if you enjoyed the video, go ahead and subscribe, like, follow, or please share it if there's somebody you think might find value in it. As I mentioned, I'm trying to expand my message, get out there myself in the world, trying to be the proof in the pudding or whatever. I'm almost trying to come up with different sayings. But with that said, guys, we'll see you on the next video.